Hi, and welcome to another edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games for Monday, September 19, 2022. I'm your host, Jason DeCanio, for episode number 27, and tonight we're looking at a very interesting playground game that's played by 4 people, and it's a team sport among 2 teams with 2 players, each on a square court divided into 4 quadrants, A, B, C, and D. And the square that a player gets to before anyone else immediately becomes their position in the game. The objective of this game is to eliminate players in the opposing team to achieve the highest rank on the court, and this is done by bouncing the ball back and forth between quadrants. A player on one team may bounce the ball to an opponent's team's player square and tries to bounce the ball in a state that the player on the opposing team cannot hit it to another square. The winning team will move up in the ranks, and the team that reaches the highest rank, A, usually number 3 on numbered courts depending on the court, first wins, with all the losing team's players being eliminated. A player is eliminated when a ball is bounced in a player's quadrant and the player is unable to bounce the ball into another player's quadrant. It's a popular game at elementary schools with little required equipment, almost no setup, and short rounds of play that can be ended at any time. We look at it today, it's called Foursquare, but they used to call it BOXBALL on the playground, and we'll look at that on this edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. All right, welcome everybody to the show. That's all of you out there in internet world. We're going to be talking today about BOXBALL, or Foursquare, as they like to call it. And we hope that you had a great weekend and enjoyed all of the episodes from last week, including the Slinky and the Yo-Yo and Hopscotch. Well, we're looking at our next game. This is another playground game, and it's called Foursquare, or BOXBALL. And we give you a little bit of an introduction of what it is. And now we look at the playing environment and all that good stuff on today's edition. So, Foursquare is played on any hard-surfaced court, such as wood, concrete, or asphalt. There is no official court size, but typically courts measured between 10 and 30 feet, that's 3 to 8 meters on a side, and divided into 4 smaller equal-sized squares. Each of the 4 squares has a rank and is occupied by a single player. The ranks may be arranged so that either the highest ranking square is positioned facing the lowest ranking square, or the ranks increase as one moves clockwise or counterclockwise. The lines on the court are boundaries. The interior lines separating player squares are out of bounds, and the ball may not touch any portion of an inside line, or the player who hit the ball is in error. The lines marking the outermost edges of the court are typically considered inbounds. These boundary rules are often described as inside out or outside in. In recreational play, and even with a judge in tournament play, it is often difficult to determine if the ball hits the line. Foursquare is played with a rubber playground ball, typically 8.5 inches in diameter and inflated to 2 psi. However, other sizes and types of balls can be used. During regular play or a classic, the ball must be hit with the player's hands only. In classic play, carrying, catching, or holding the ball during play is not allowed, although putting spin on the ball is allowed as long as carrying does not occur. Prolonged contact with the ball can give players unfair control over the play. Hitting the ball must create a perceptible change in the ball's velocity, speed, or direction. Players may be eliminated from the court because of errors or fouls they commit. Eliminated players leave the court. The remaining players move up to the next highest square, and a new player joins the court in the lowest square. Eliminated players wait in line for their next turn. The following actions may result in elimination, although many variations exist: failing to hit the ball into another square, missing the ball, hitting the ball into your own square, hitting the ball out of turn, hitting the ball with a prohibited body part, hitting the ball out of bounds or onto an internal boundary line, hitting the ball before it touches the ground. Foursquare is a popular game for children and school playgrounds. It is possible to scale the game's difficulty and supervision appropriately for different age groups and ability levels. Schools, churches, and camps often change the size of the court, the type of ball, or aspects of the rules to create variation in play or to suit the player's abilities. Foursquare has inspired other similar games. One example is Nine Square, where instead of the grid being 2x2, it is 3x3. The king court is in the middle, and the ball is served from this position. The rules are similar in how the ball is passed between players by bouncing between squares. Other branches of the game have been popularized in recent years, which are played on an aerial grid. And it is similar to the original in that 4 or 9 people play in their respective spots, but they must keep the ball off the ground like in volleyball. Rotation and rules are similar to each grounded rendition. The game is also similar to handball. And it dates back to at least the 1950s. A game called Foursquare is mentioned in newspapers at least as far back as the 1950s, although the rules are not explained. Foursquare is described with the same rules used today in a 1953 teacher's manual. The game is known as King Out in Sweden, and many players refer to the person in the server square as the king. The Foursquare World Championships is a regional competitive adult Foursquare tournament which takes place in Bridgeton, Maine, USA, each winter season. The Lakes Environmental Association hosts this annual winter fundraiser to support their environment in the Lakes region of Maine, and the competition draws athletes from U.S. and Canada and has registered competitors from Israel to Bermuda. As of February 22, 2014, the results of the February 24, 2018 competition are 2020 Men's World Champion Alec Douglas from Norway, Maine. In 2018, the Women's World Champion Brittany Dunay from Maine. 2018 Men's World Champion Christian Hausch from Cambridge, Massachusetts. 2018 Women's Junior World Champion Penny Hausch from Cambridge, and 2018 Men's Junior World Champion Sabian Hallen from Maine. Prior World Championships have been held in January or February from 2005 through 2018. On August 4th to the 5th of 2012, a core group of 17 Needham High School students and alumni, assisted by 50 other Needham residents at various times, broke the previous world record by playing for 34 hours. The previous record being held by 15 Manchester College students who played the game for 30 hours. The world record was previously held by 8 Argentinian players for 29 hours in 2018, as recognized by Guinness World Records. The Argentinian record was preceded by a group of teens from Youngstown, Ohio, who also played for 29 hours. And there you have it. A real simple explanation of a game very popular to BOXBALL called Foursquare. Now, looking on for our next toys and games, we're going to be going into the toys, and I see we're going to scroll down and see what we have in our list of what we need to pick up here. So let's see. Other bookmarks, okay. Mobile bookmarks. Okay, nothing there. Okay, so let's go into the Wikipedia and look at some toys that might have one. Oh, I know one. we always all the girls used to play with this, or wanted one, and I think it'd be interesting to cover it for everybody. We'll be looking at the Easy Bake Oven. Yes. Oh, all the girls wanted it, and even the guys wanted it too. It's a fun little toy that was invented in 1963, which Hasbro still manufactures as of summer of this year. So we'll be looking at the Easy Bake Oven on Wednesday. So I'll go ahead and bookmark that. And then I say another toy that we should look at is something that, well, you know, I didn't play with much as far as with toys, but I always had, you know, I always tried to make toys as simple as possible as I could. So with that, I had a kitchen set too as well. But I think wasn't there a toy vacuum. Let's see. Toy vacuum. Let's see if anything comes up. No. Nothing of a toy vacuum. Yeah, okay. And something from Nickelodeon Toys that sucks gas up. No. Doesn't look like they have anything of that sort. Oh, here's one we need to actually pick up. There we go. We'll be looking at Speak and Spell starting Friday. Oh, yeah. With first one coming out, Speak and Spell. Then we'll talk about Speak and Read and Speak and Math when we come back to the toy line there. So that's going to be on Friday. That should be fun. We'll look at the Easy Bake Oven on Wednesday and go with Speak and Spell on Friday. Hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that like button also. And don't forget also to catch us on Anchor and Spotify as well. I'm Jason DeCanio. Hope you had a great time with us here. We'll see you on Wednesday for the Easy Bake Oven. Have a great night. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David3000 Network for great more content like this one.